Hi, Cindy Curtis with Wednesday Words again. This is the week when we joined back to daylight savings time. It's always a time that throws us off. When I think about that, it brought me back to adapting to change. How do we adapt to change? For most of us, change is not a pleasant thing to navigate. I don't know too many people that just love change. Sometimes change is thrust upon us and we have absolutely no control. I think that's a difficult part. Sometimes we know it's coming and we can kind of prepare for it, but it's those adaptations that we make to change that can make all the difference. And they can just be tiny ones. They don't have to be giant. You would think that an hour in our day is not going to shift us too badly off, but it really does somehow make us tired for 2 or 3 days after. And I want you to think about your writing. And if you've been reluctant to write, maybe because of, oh, it's too hard or whatever, let's go ahead and do just a small change today. You don't have to tackle the whole thing. I've been sharing with you that I've been working on some novels, and in my mind it's like, why even try, because there's so much to do. But I'm trying to get over that. I'm looking at, this is a piece that I shared with you maybe a month or so ago that I told you was way out of my comfort zone, that little sci-fi fantasy young adult book. Well, I'm working on my minor characters now, and they have a major impact on the story. And I had them speaking in first person point of view, which is from their perspective. I did this, I did that. And it was a challenge to write that. So I thought, well, let me revise. And the change I'm going to make is change them to third person point of view and see if that makes it any difference at all. That's a little thing I can do, and I can focus on that for a writing piece. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I took a risk and I made an adaptation. I want to share it with you. I'm only going to read a few sentences. This was the original. This character's name is Matson. I feel like a semi-professional, waking early before walking the route to the center, my head filled with a heady mixture of Ivanly and the tolerance exam. I know we're a team that can be successful. Sorry, I have my phone balanced in a plant and it just slipped. I'm going to keep going. We have what it takes. I'm not sure we can pull it all together. For this exam, there will not be a way to input minutes that don't exist. We have not seen each other in person for 6 months. There's a difference between talking via communicator and talking face-to-face, eye to eye. Okay, that was first person point of view. Now, this is my change that I made slightly, but I think it makes a big difference. Matson moves like a semi-professional. He awakened early, his head filled with a heady mixture of Ivanly and the tolerance exam. He knows his team can be successful. They have what it takes to excel, but he's not sure they can pull it all together. For this exam, there will not be a way to input minutes that don't exist. They have not met together in person for 6 months. There's a difference between talking via communicator and talking face-to-face, eye to eye. The simple machine buzzes to life. His pulse increases as he inputs his replies to the girl he can't put out of his mind for very long. Okay, so you see, it wasn't a big adjustment, but it helped me, even as a writer, to be able to have the power to have everybody's point of view in third person, where I wasn't just in his head. And I think that's what I can do myself. I can just be in my head. I can be focused on my perspective, on what I want and what I need, rather than looking at the people around me, looking to my Lord and Savior for help, looking to others who have readily said, I'm happy to help you do this. And I somehow feel like, oh, I've got to do it all myself. I don't know if that is my pride. I imagine some of it is I want credit for doing it all myself, or if it's I'm being stubborn and just like, no, that's a sign of weakness if I ask for help. So I'm just going to say to you, ask and accept help, ask for it and accept it. Look at what little thing can you do to adapt to a change. When you are hit with something, and you know as well as I, we are changes everywhere. We're going to be hit with change whether we want it or not. but how we adapt to it can really make a difference, not only for ourselves, but for people that we love and people that we are around. And I'm going to go so far as to say for your writing, when you are looking at something that you're working on, maybe a shift in perspective to point of view would work. Maybe it's just a matter of changing a few words. When I was revising yesterday, preparing for this, I changed around some of the words. I put a sentence and I picked it up and I loved the sentence, but I moved it to a different spot. Actually made more sense. Many times when I'm speaking to you on the video, I realize in my conversation, I segue into a little rabbit hole and I give you a little backstory of something that you probably don't even want to know. And I also I'm famous for gonna. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. But in my formal writing, I tend to tone that down some and try to keep more focused, and it tries to slip in. So I have to remind myself I'm not having a conversation on this paper in this story. I am writing a piece that someone is going to read. So I need to be careful with the words that I choose. And that's the fun part of being a writer, but it's also very challenging. And I find myself, even when I am writing a text, if I am sending an email, oh no, people think I'm a writer. It has to be perfect. I need to go back and revise and edit. And then I get myself so stressed out that just a simple reply to someone, I don't have. As I've shared before, really struggle with spelling. I have always struggled with spelling. I know how to spell words. I can almost always tell when I've misspelled something because it just doesn't look right, but I don't know how to fix it unless I go look it up or, use my spell check. But sometimes when I'm writing a note or writing something by hand, I don't have the spell check handy or some way to look it up. And my husband is awesome because he just smiles at me. He said, do you mean? And then he'll give me the right way to spell it. Or I'm, writing and I'm in the mood and I'm yelling out to him, how do you spell? And he yells it back to me. So he's my spell checker too. But I don't let that stop me, because I feel like if I want the right word and I can't spell it, I can figure out how. That's the adaptation that I can make. I can go to my resources. I can get some help. So to sum up everything we've said today, how do you adapt to change? What is a small change that you can make? Doesn't have to be huge, just something little to shift your perspective so that you can navigate that change for your better good and for the better good of the people that you live with, who love you, who you are around. I hope you have a wonderful day.